known.
He's absolutely brilliant at what he does.
And he's very good at what, exactly.
Amazing.
So if
Amazing.
you're going to have an inaugural podcast category.
And you don't
maybe
have...
It just speaks to living in the blue sky bubble.
Yeah.
Like, get out of your fucking bubble, you know? I want to be one of you. I am one of you. But you're just so hard to defend because you're just so fucking smug assholes. And this town is the epicenter of the problem.
Bill Maher has turned his attention squarely on Hollywood, and the fallout is intense. The outspoken critic unleashed a blistering critique of the film industry, accusing it of forcing woke narratives and reshaping culture in ways that are now blowing back in its face. His commentary was ruthless, fast-paced, and unapologetic, cutting straight through the illusion of moral superiority. Maher didn't mince words or soften the edges. He said exactly what many have been thinking but few inside the industry are willing to say out loud. So, before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and let's get straight into it.
I want to do something next year about celebrities, not to get too political, but they just make it worse.
Your whole career.
No, I mean with you guys. They
Yeah.
just make it worse, celebrities do, when they speak. And they're almost always on one side of the political divide.
Yes.
And that's basically the side I vote for. You know, as I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost. I could gather, and I think I will, because it'll be funny, just the incredibly stupid things that celebrities say about politics or finance or something.
Yeah, we're bad.
And then, so if you're like the person out there going, well, how can you live on $100 million a year? Vote Kamala Harris. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the game.
Maher begins by calling out celebrities who casually endorse presidential candidates without doing the hard work of understanding policy, voters, or political reality. While he openly acknowledged voting for Kamala Harris, Maher says he believed from the beginning that her campaign was headed toward defeat. In his view, her refusal to clearly distance herself from the increasingly unpopular woke movement left her exposed to voter backlash. He claims he warned both her campaign and the Democratic National Committee that public frustration was real and growing, but those warnings were ignored. Instead, party leadership chose comfort over confrontation. Hollywood celebrities flooded Harris with glowing endorsements, confidently predicting an easy win. Maher argues this celebrity echo chamber created a false sense of momentum, driven by applause and social media praise rather than actual voter sentiment. When Election Day arrived, reality proved far harsher than any red carpet support.
I can't let the country in the hands of these people. I'll vote for this guy who's crazy, but at least this kind of crazy, I can almost relate to him more.
You can't have movie stars and politicians that we know have hundreds of millions of dollars lecturing you. It's just the elitist thing that came out of all that, you know, the Democrats. It wasn't a positive thing. They are not going to do that in 2028. I'll bet they'll have regular
He's
people.
so thoughtful sometimes.
He's very smart about this stuff.
Yeah, he really is.
I have a lot of opinions, but I have a job.
You should do the show.
Dana Carvey adds that celebrities may now think twice before rushing to endorse political candidates, particularly Democratic ones, after watching how badly those endorsements backfired. According to Carvey, the outcome revealed just how disconnected Hollywood activism has become from everyday Americans. He argues that celebrity political preaching often feels tone-deaf and ineffective, doing more damage than good. From his perspective, it comes across as elitist for wealthy entertainers, insulated inside a Hollywood bubble, to lecture working Americans about how they should vote. Carvey believes this top-down moral messaging alienates voters who already feel ignored or talked down to by cultural elites. Instead of building trust, celebrity endorsements can deepen resentment. Voters, he says, don't want advice from red carpets and private jets. They want leaders who understand rising costs, public safety, and real-world struggles.
I just got a Golden Globe nomination for the one I did.
Oh, really?
That's yesterday.
How often do you get nominated for your specials?
Nothing. I used to get nominated for everything, and then the wokeness came in, and then I was considered conservative. Which
Are you bad?
Ridiculous. So I was what I call soft canceled.
Yeah.
Where you don't.
Well, I'm a Bill Clinton liberal. Which is from the 90s, which is now called
Me too.
a Nazi.
Far exactly,
right.
right.
Yeah.
You're a
So-
white supremacist.
So this is the first time in a while I've been nominated for something.
Okay.
Which I think shows a little bit that we are coming out of the wokeness. I mean, I'm not going to win, and I'm probably not even going to go, but I take it as a victory that they were not able to ignore how good that special was. I just say that it's my last.
Maher then reflects on his own experience being quietly sidelined for refusing to pledge loyalty to woke orthodoxy. Before he began pushing back, his comedy specials regularly received award nominations and industry praise. But once he started openly criticizing progressive dogma, those invitations mysteriously disappeared. Maher says he wasn't officially blacklisted, just gradually ignored and pushed out of the spotlight. The message was unmistakable: fall in line or fade away. For years, he watched as comedians played it safe while awards season passed him by. Now, as public sentiment shifts and the cultural grip of the woke movement weakens, Maher finds himself welcomed back. His recent Golden Globe nomination feels less like coincidence and more like confirmation. In his eyes, it proves Hollywood follows trends, not principles. Credit to Maher for standing firm and refusing to bend when silence would have been easier.
It's not one that the woke can watch and not throw up, because I call their out and the fact that people are laughing shows that it's funny. When you do stupid things, it's funny, and the left did a lot more stupid things in the last 5 to 10 years. And I'm a comedian. I go where the gold is. And it's hitting the side of a barn to make fun of some of this.
Sure, it's too
I mean,
easy.
if you think, I quoted like very esteemed publications like The Atlantic, or saying things like, separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Well, if that's not of course it does. If anybody can't do 5 minutes on that,
Yeah.
or Mr. Beast, who was helping disabled people, and the Washington Post guy was tweeting like, he thinks disability is something that needs to be solved.
Over the past several years, Maher has faced constant criticism for his unapologetic anti-woke stance. Many assumed the pressure would eventually force him to retreat. Instead, he doubled down. In his most recent comedy special, Maher devoted significant time to openly criticizing the far left while others avoided the topic altogether. That level of defiance carries real risk in an industry where careers can vanish overnight. Maher understands those risks, yet continues to speak his mind regardless of who it angers. In contrast, many comedians backed off at the first sign of backlash, choosing safety over honesty and applause over authenticity. Maher refused to follow that path, even when it cost him professionally.
Did you see that there's a podcast category at the Globes?
Oh, really?
No, you know what? Someone said, I thought
Is
they were
there?
kidding.
Oh,
I would think you.
did we get nominated?
No.
We're defending
wouldn't
champions,
you have known it by now?
We won the
We got-
comedy
yeah,
They
we got
only
podcast.
some
nominated
nominations.
like the super woke stuff.
Maher and his guests also questioned why Joe Rogan was completely absent from this year's Golden Globe podcast nominations. For years, the Joe Rogan Experience has dominated the podcast landscape, ranking among the most listened to and influential shows in the world. Its reach and cultural impact are undeniable. Yet, despite those credentials, Rogan was left off the list entirely. Maher finds that omission difficult to believe. In his view, it has little to do with quality or popularity and far more to do with ideological alignment. He argues that Rogan's willingness to challenge progressive narratives has made him unacceptable to award show gatekeepers. According to Maher, Hollywood increasingly rewards political conformity over merit. Voices that echo approved views are celebrated, while dissenters are quietly excluded. The result is an awards culture that feels more like enforcement than recognition.
You're going to have an inaugural podcast category.
And you don't
Maybe
have...
it just
Yeah.
it just speaks to living in the blue sky bubble.
Yeah.
But get out of your fucking bubble, I want to be one of you. I am one of you. But you're just so hard to defend because you're just such smug assholes. And this town is the epicenter of the problem.
Maher then launches into a broader critique of Hollywood itself, accusing the industry of being trapped inside a self-reinforcing liberal bubble. Studio executives, award committees, and celebrities, he says, have grown so insulated that they refuse to engage with opposing viewpoints. Instead of debate or dialogue, disagreement is met with silence, exclusion, or quiet punishment. Maher argues this mindset has turned Hollywood into an echo chamber where conformity is rewarded and dissent is treated as betrayal. He again points to Joe Rogan as a clear example, insisting the podcaster was sidelined not because of a lack of talent or influence, but because he refuses to toe the ideological line. In Maher's view, Hollywood no longer values open conversation. It values compliance. By shutting out dissenting voices, the industry reveals just how disconnected it has become from millions of Americans.
About the Oscars is they do reflect society. That's why we pay so much attention, partly. And things are always changing in our industry, like streaming. It just changed the whole industry. This happens so often. So they have to come up with new categories for the awards. The Golden Globes came up with a new one this year. They're basically picture people liked. They had, they had become such self-congratulating, virtue-signaling bores that they had to go, oh yeah, let's make a category for that. People actually paid to see something.
Maher also criticizes what he calls the woke movie industry's obsession with appeasing online activists at the expense of storytelling and artistic quality. He argues that Hollywood now bends over backward to satisfy outrage campaigns by inventing awards that celebrate symbolism rather than substance. As an example, he mocks the introduction of categories like Picture People Liked, calling it less an honor and more a participation trophy. In his view, award shows have become desperate for relevance and approval, lowering their standards in the process. Instead of recognizing excellence, innovation, or lasting cultural impact, Hollywood keeps diluting its own legacy to avoid criticism. Maher warns that this kind of virtue signaling doesn't elevate cinema, cheapens it.
So there's some new Oscar categories. Would you like to hear the Oscar category? I knew you would. I knew you would want to hear them. For example, this was needed. Best editing of a film that's still an hour too long. Achievement in ethnic prosthetics. Best achievement in replacing an actor who tweeted something offensive. Best use of a freeze frame, followed by the words, "You're probably wondering how I got here."
Maher closes by unleashing sharp satire aimed at Hollywood executives and award ceremonies like the Oscars and Golden Globes. Through exaggerated parody, he invents over-the-top woke awards to expose what he sees as their growing absurdity. The jokes aren't just for laughs. They highlight how empty and performative many accolades have become. Awards that once represented excellence in film now feel diluted by ideological box-checking and moral signaling. By mocking categories that prioritize messaging over merit, Maher underscores how little these trophies actually mean anymore. His final message is clear. Hollywood has lost its way. Obsessed with ideology, approval, and conformity, the industry now rewards alignment over creativity. Love him or hate him, Maher's critique resonates because it taps into growing public exhaustion. When art becomes activism and applause replaces honesty, credibility collapses. And no number of trophies can fix that. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more.